Sideline News.
Haven't even mentioned LSU.
By the way, now, it's going to take about a year for Brian to get it right. Nobody has talked about LSU. Brian Kelly has won everywhere he's been. Everywhere.
I think he probably prefers it that way right now.
Now, I don't love his viral stuff, but Brian can flat out coach. Now, Kirby can coach. Jimbo can coach. Brian can coach. When Pete Carroll dominated SC, the Pac-12 was a tire fire. All the top programs were a mess. A lot of Nick's success is Auburn couldn't get it together. Tennessee was a mess. Georgia couldn't get the right coach. Now all these schools, Lane, Kirby, Jimbo, Brian Kelly.
It's pretty obvious why he's upset.
Yeah, you're not going undefeated in that conference anymore. And by the way, the most underrated team in the country is going to be Kentucky, because I think they may have the best quarterback in the country. Mark Stoops is probably the most underrated coach east of the Mississippi. Is Kentucky east of the Mississippi? I think so. But, I mean, like, Kentucky now is a tough out if you got to go down to Lexington and play them. So it's like you can see the walls closing in a little bit.
That's what he wanted, right? He wants more parity.
That's all he cares about is parity, Joey.
Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Warriors and Mavs is tonight. Golden State handled Dallas pretty easily in Game 1, but Steve Kerr is expecting things to get a little more heated as the series progresses.
Yes.
It's the most competitive basketball on earth, and these are the best players on earth, and everybody's fighting for something that they really want. So there's a lot of mutual respect. But at some point in the series, you know, and it's always been this way for me as a player or a coach, it's just after a couple games, it just starts to get testy because both sides want it so badly. And it's nothing personal. It's competition.
Fox Bet has the Warriors favored by 6 in Game 2 tonight.
That is a lot. Dallas had 25 open three-pointers in that game. They hit 8. If they hit 14, we go in at half.
You could say the same about the Heat last night. Yeah. Like, if you can't hit your shots and you're going up against a team that is hitting their shots,
it's
then
over.
The gap widens very quickly.
And you know what happens, Joey, and this happened to Dallas. When you get down by like 9 and they're hitting threes, you start taking some bad threes.
Because you have to try and stay in it.
So the gap, you either get back into a game or it's an avalanche. Like Miami last night is just, we got to shoot threes. You're missing, Boston's hitting. You go from 12 to 20 to 28, like fast.
Yeah, it can be a 20-point swing. And Boston was down.
Yeah. That's
how quickly it can happen. I do think that we react game to game very kind of volatile manner in these long series.
Yeah.
Like, the Warriors were supposed to win that game. Obviously, We would have liked it to be more competitive. We would have liked the game last night to be more competitive. For that matter, the game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals would have liked to have been more competitive. Yeah. But that's how it goes sometimes. So we'll see. I do think it will be closer tonight.
Yeah.
But again, the Mavs, to me, it's not about Luka. Luka's going to do what Luka does. It's about everyone else. Are they going to be able to step up and contribute offensively? Because they are a good defensive team, offensively, to stay with the Warriors.
Yeah.
And if someone's having an off night, someone else has to step up. But that's what championship teams do. That's why the Warriors can put up a performance like that or lose to Memphis by 50 and win the series. Because they have the confidence to come back from those situations. They've been there before. So Aaron Rodgers isn't attending Packers voluntary workouts.
Whatever.
There's a lot of new changes in that receiver room this offseason, but he is
traveling.
not there.
Yeah.
Well, quarterbacks coach Tom Clements isn't concerned, doesn't think there will be any issue when Rodgers finally does join the team.
Aaron doesn't need reps at this time of the year, so I mean it's obviously it'd be nice to have him here, but he's seen these things a 1,000 times, and he'll be ready to go when training camp starts. He's just he's at a different stage of his career now where he's taking care of himself in the working on what he thinks he needs to work on physically.
If they want to believe that, that's like saying, at this point, I don't need to do any prep for my show. I know when I'm ready. If you want to believe that, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Breeze Manning, to the last day, didn't believe that. Aaron has shifted to the summer and spring of Aaron. That's what's happening. Aaron is... here's a guy last year. We know he doesn't work with young receivers. We know he has trust issues. They got a young receiver last year. He threw him 4 catches all year. This year he's got Sammy Watkins, 3 rookie wide receivers.
Yes.
Didn't they just bring somebody else in, Joy?
They have Alan Lazard, Sammy Watkins, Randall Cobb, Juwan Winfrey, Amari Rodgers, Malik Taylor, and then 3 rookies, Christian Watson.
He has a relationship with
and Samari Torrey.
2 of those guys he's got a relationship with.
Yeah.
The other guys are just kind of Tom Brady was at Jesuit High School in Tampa.
In a pandemic.
During a pandemic, illegally working on relationships with stars. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, like Gronk. These are kids. You just think, he doesn't need any reps. That is the biggest bunch of bull. And the fact that Green Bay buys into it tells you Aaron still controls the operation.
I don't know if Green Bay does buy into it, but I don't think they have a choice.
No, that may be right.
I thought about this because, would I do voluntary stuff for work? Yeah, and I do all the time. And I'm pretty sure you do too.
Yeah.
There's stuff that we do that we don't necessarily get paid for, or have to do, or have to be at for work. We have to be here live doing this show every day. But that's what comes with the territory of certain jobs and certain positions and certain responsibilities. You don't have to be at voluntary workouts. And to your point, if they had secure relationships and had reps and reps and reps together, and this was a room that hadn't just been completely turned around, I don't even think this would be a story. Who cares? Of course, Aaron Rodgers doesn't need reps right now, but those guys do, and they need it with Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have to be at voluntary workouts. It's kind of an unspoken thing. If I'm supposed to be there, make it mandatory. But sometimes you have to do things that aren't mandatory if you're trying to be a champion and a winner.
And I also have a resume where Aaron has trust issues with his own family.
And you had the most catastrophic ending to a season
ever
in the league and got a complete pass for it, as the Packers always do, because nobody likes to be critical of the Packers. I know it's a thing, but that was a disaster. And if it was any other team, with the season that they had, as loud as Aaron Rodgers were, they would still be getting roasted on every show every day. But because it's the Packers, it's they
had 1 offensive touchdown against San Francisco, the opening drive on script. Not another one. Devontae Adams leaves. They lose their right tackle, and Aaron's like, just the messaging of it is, I'm too important to be there.
I just don't think they're a championship team.
Thank you. They're done.
It's not. I'm not outraged by it. You're just not. You're not somebody I consider capable of winning a Super Bowl, which is fine. Everybody's not going to win a Super Bowl.
Every time Aaron's at a coffee shop, somebody sends me a picture. I got 30 of them.
Why?
I've seen more of him at coffee shops than I have in the last 6 months in the Packers. Well, last 3 months.
Drinking a lot of. Why coffee?
He's got a place in California out here.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't make it at home, apparently.
Don't start that. You did that for 2 days. Not even 2 days. You made 1 day.
It is a ripoff.
Outraged at the price of coffee.
It's ripoff.
In coffee shops.
It's brutal. You think it's bad where you live.
You guys missed this rant. I didn't buy it for 1 second. Colin was so outraged at the price of 2 coffees that he insisted that he was going to make his own coffee in a mug and bring it to work every day.
But that's tedious. So I eventually went back. But it's such a ripoff.
That's why they make money, because nobody actually wants to do that. We're halfway through the USFL season, and there's still 1 undefeated team remaining. The Birmingham Stallions lead the South Division with a 5-0 record and are looking to stay in the win column. They play the Michigan Panthers tomorrow. In the North Division, the New Jersey Generals are at the top. Since losing their opening game to the Stallions, they've rattled off 4 straight wins, so they will have a chance to make it 5 in a row against the Houston Gamblers Sunday on Fox. So here is the full schedule. Tomorrow, Tampa Bay Bandits against the Philadelphia Stars, Michigan Panthers against the Birmingham Stallions, and the Pittsburgh Maulers, who finally got a win, against the New Orleans Breakers, and Houston Gamblers against the New Jersey Generals. So that is your Week 6 schedule for the USFL.
Good stuff. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line.